I'm Nick Pomeroy with PR Equipment here in Kearns, Texas. Hey, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Massey Ferguson mesh wrap system. This system is the same that's on the 1700 and the 2900 series balers, so this will work for both. But in this video, we're going to talk about how to load the mesh and maybe one tip or trick that comes along with that. So I like to think this is probably the easiest mesh loading in the business. It's also it's super fast as well. So we're going to open this mesh door up. Like I say, same system basically on the 2900 series or the 1700 series. Not much to it. In another video, we're going to talk about some settings and things like that, but this is just to how to load the wrap. So we're going to start from this position. We open the door. We're going to drop the lower tail out, or the bottom plate, because we're going to need that open in a second. We're going to flip out this is basically the mesh brake, but it also serves as a cradle for when we're loading the mesh. If you notice, there's a partial roll of net up here. This is that partial roll that AGCO gives us that comes with the baler of the AGCO net wrap. We usually throw that away because you'll be really, really annoyed if you put that in the baler and it only goes for like 10 bales. So we're going to load this brand new roll of net wrap. And if you buy a baler from us, we do this before we deliver the baler. We always put a brand new full roll of net wrap. We're not going to send you out with that trial size roll. If you ever need any trial size rolls though, let us know. We'll start saving them for you, but they're really kind of annoying. So we're going to cut open our net. One thing we need to do, and so this net is feeding over the roll, and that's not going to work, so we're going to have to flip it around. But before we do that, let me get rid of some of this trash. So I'm going to pull plastic out and put our net in, and so this is the way it's supposed to feed. It's supposed to come out from underneath, kind of like the diagram shows you here. The net will come out underneath, go over the, I don't know, this is kind of I guess this is what mounts to the mesh roll. But we're gonna try to get this kind of spread out a little bit. And one thing, make sure this fits, which it does. So we'll talk about that in the next video. But what we're aiming to do here, I like to cut this tail off. I don't like to mess with the tape and the junk, and so I'll always cut this portion off. And then I'll come in here and split these two tails. I like to tie a knot in each one. Just something simple here. We're going to need a little bit of this out, but not very much. So we're going to pull maybe about that much out. And so I'll show you kind of here how we're going to tuck it in. And so we're going to tuck this down in between the mesh door and the roll. And I'm going to tuck this side in as well. And then what we'll do is we'll come down here and we're going to find that mesh. So there we go. We've got both tails. And then I like to go ahead and tie these back together. That just kind of seems to help it start a little wider. And this can look ugly and this can be fine. As long as it doesn't get in the way of these wires, it should be no issue. So when we pull up our door, we're just going to kind of push that over there and shut that. So when we go to load our mesh, we just want to make sure that we keep it kind of the full width of the baler. Then we're going to flip it in there, set our brake, and we're good to go. So that's loading the mesh in the Massey Ferguson baler. Now I wanted to talk real quick about one thing that I've seen, and normally on the 2900 series baler, if for some reason it does not complete the mesh cycle, the mesh door will not be down. It'll stay in the up position. And so and I'll show you what that looks like. So if you come back to your baler and you don't see that gap that we had where we could get our fingers around the back side of the roll, you know that mesh door, the mesh system is not in the home position. So on the 1745, it's pretty easy. I'll show you over here. You just put it in manual, put it in mesh, and then you can manually feed it back home. And then you'll go ahead and put your mesh in. I don't really see that on the 1700s, but on the 2900s sometimes if it doesn't complete a mesh cycle, it'll stay stuck in that feed position, which is not the position you wanted it in terms of putting the mesh in. So that's something to remember. So guys, if y'all are looking for some hay equipment, come check us out at PR Equipment here in Kearns, Texas. Thanks.